Alright, hey guys, welcome back to the channel. We got a little bit different video. You know, the first guns I remember ever shooting, besides like pellet guns and BB guns, was a 22. Actually, this one right here, it's the old Marlin 22 that my parents had. Had a lot of fun with this little carbine 22. It's just a fun gun to shoot with open sights. Nothing special about it, but it's pretty accurate also. It's not a bad little rifle. And then the next one that I would have in a 22 would be your old reliable 1022 from Ruger. It's been fun to shoot. My son has really used this a lot when he was younger. You know, he enjoyed shooting this thing, but just a really all around great little rifle. But I wanted to kind of get into some, you know, something that I can be a little bit more accurate with. And y'all know I love Savages. I've got a lot of Savages, but this right here, this is a Savage Mark II SR. It's got the short bull barrel. I think that's a 16-inch barrel on it. 5-round, we'll have to upgrade that obviously to a 10-round or bigger, whatever we want to do. But threaded barrel, bull barrel, medium barrel basically, short rifle. So we got some things here that we're going to do with this. We're going to actually take the Vortex scope off of this 1022 and put it on to this one. I think it'll be pretty good for this gun. Kind of pull it apart here and clean it and get everything ready to roll. We are eventually going to get some kind of brake for this. We're not going to need like a radial brake. I'd like a directional brake for it. Yeah, it's got the 1/2 by 28 threaded barrel, so that's nice. We could even, if we wanted to, we could put a suppressor on it. I don't really see the need for that. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of this box here. We're not having to stare at that the whole time. So basically what I want to do is take this gun down and clean it. Yeah, you're just gonna hold in the trigger. Pretty simple to get that bolt out. Everybody complains about Savage's bolt releases, but I don't think they're bad. I'm gonna grab some wipes here, and I've got some Q-tips also that we can use to get into nooks and crannies. So we're just going to take a degreaser and we're going to get rid of all this factory oil that's on this thing. It's just meant for lubrication and shipping and stuff to keep everything from rusting on you. It's not really a good quality oil, so any gun that you get, you pretty much want to take down and clean all that factory oil. You can see all the nastiness in that already, and I haven't even shot it. So we're going to get this thing cleaned up. You know, a lot of guys have issues right out of the boxes because they don't clean them. And I think it's pretty important to clean all that factory crap out of there and get good quality oil in these guns. Bolt looks a little bit wore, not bad. It was on the shelf. It was the only one they had, so hopefully we don't have any issues with this thing. I just use a bore snake on these 22s and stuff. You can get rods and all that, which I probably will in the future here, but for now I just got this bore snake for 22 caliber. We'll just run this down through there. I want to be careful with these ends that you're not scuffing up that. You don't want to rip it out of there because you could damage your landing and stuff with those. It's brass, but it could still, you know, you could put a little nick or scratch up in that area if you're not careful. So we're going to run this through here and just knock out anything that might be factory in that barrel. Look at all that crap that I'm getting out of that right from the factory. This is just a plastic coat tip brush. I'm just knocking some of that crap out of there. Just pushing this patch through there. So there, we're getting quite a bit of crap out of there. Okay, this is a synthetic stock, so it's floated barrel. It's going to be I think it'll be a pretty good shooting gun. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for a break on this. I don't know if I even need it. We'll see how it reacts when we shoot it for the first time. Okay, next thing I'm going to do is take, and I've kind of learned this in the past here too. I have never taken rails off and blued them, you know, blue Loctite and stuff like that. Just never thought I would have to do that. You know, you would think that the factory would do that for you and have it right, but you can't always depend on the factory to do things perfectly all the time. This is really nice too because it's got a nice big charging handle on the bolt, so you can really get after it. So anyway, our next step is going to be take this rail off. So I'm going to grab my torque wrench here. So we're going to go ahead and take, yeah, that wasn't very tight. So pretty important to check all this stuff, guys. Take those rails off. I hope that one's not stripped out. It's not acting very good. That's not good. Okay, we're not going to dick with that. I will take off these others. I don't know, for some reason this one's stripped out in the front. So I'm going to take out 3 of these 4 and blue Loctite these. That kind of upsets me that that's stripped out. Normally I would take that rail completely off, but for some reason we have got a screw in there that is stripped. Okay, I think we're going to be alright. That's, you know, on 22, it's probably not as critical as, say, a bigger caliber, but now there again, on a 22 like this, I'm not real concerned about level everything out. You know, you can pretty much eyeball it and be really good. We'll go ahead and loosen these mounts up here on this. Yep, there's just the old flip up iron sights on this baby. I might have to go back and take that rail off of this and put the original, so I can use the iron sights on it still. I am going to need a cheek pad, I think, for this thing, because that scope just seems like it's sitting pretty high. We'll have to put some kind of riser on this. Good trigger. You can adjust this trigger. This has the Accu trigger in it. And then later on today we'll probably take this thing out and just see what it does with the groups and which ammo it might like. We're going to have to break it in a little bit. Yeah, there it is, that little Mark II SR from Savage. I'm anxious to get this thing out and see what it can do. Like I said, it's a short rifle. It's kind of like a scout rifle, but a lot nicer than the Ruger 1022. That trigger on this thing is a beast. Pulling, 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 pulling. Oh, there it went. So yeah, everybody that's ever had a Ruger 1022, you know that trigger is, yeah, that's going to be a lot more enjoyable. So anyway, we'll go get this thing out after it sits a little bit and we get some of this blue Loctite to set up, and then we'll get it out. And the nice thing about 22s is you can pretty much shoot them about anywhere. I can shoot them right here across the street from my house without really bothering anybody. I've got a neighbor that's constantly doing home repairs and stuff, and he uses a pneumatic nail gun, so it makes just as much noise as a 22 does. A day shooting a 22 basically. Yeah. Yep, you can slide paper clear through there, so it's good to go. We've got this topped with a Vortex 4x12x40 Diamondback. Yeah, 4x12x40. This is a Diamondback. It might be a little overkill for this gun, but you should be able to reach out there if you have to, or have the capability to. So yeah, that trigger's nice. But anyway, we're going to get this out this afternoon, put it through its paces with some of this ammo, see how it does. All right, well, it looks like our winner is the varmint from CCI, the 36 grain, 1260 feet per second. So the hollow points, it likes the hollow points. This is what we got. I shot another group in the center with it, so you can see here, this is the first group of them, and then I shot the center with them again. So really likes those hollow point 36 grain from CCI. The other ones, I don't know. I'm thinking a lot of this is me shooting prone. But if I can do that and that sitting shooting prone, these should be just as tight if they're shooting good. So I don't know. We're gonna get that muzzle brake on this thing and see if it changes anything. I don't know what to expect. This is a company that I've never dealt with, and I just looked up 22 long rifle muzzle brakes, and this was one of them that popped up, and they seem to be pretty legit and look pretty good. So it says for the 1022, hopefully it's half by 28 thread, but hopefully it's the same diameter as my barrel, but we'll have to see when it shows up tomorrow. Hopefully it shows up tomorrow. And then the other thing we've got is a cheek riser that's I'm gonna kind of modify and put on there. I just need to be up a little higher so I'm not having to float my face on that, and that could have a lot to do with some of that too. But I really love shooting this little Savage Mark II. It's a fun little gun to shoot right out of the box. It doesn't do bad at all. It would definitely be worth your money, and it doesn't cost very much. I think this was like $269 without the scope on it. This is a Vortex 4x12x40 Diamondback that I've got on here right now. So yeah, it's starting to loosen up a little bit. Now, one of the things that I noticed on this gun, if you want to mess with that trigger and try to get it lower, and you have to take the barrel off and everything, make sure you don't tighten down these screws that hold your barrel, your mounting screws for the barrel. Because if you do, it's going to raise that barrel up. It puts a torque on it, and it raises that barrel, so you might have some issues with getting it sighted in. So I just put some Loctite on these after I got it seated right and checked that trigger for what I wanted, and I torqued those at about 25, I think, with some blue Loctite on them. So they're gonna stay. It doesn't need to be torqued down like to 45 or 60 like the big ones do, you know, your bigger calibers. You want to be really careful because you can crush this aluminum shroud that's on here around the magazine. Yeah, it doesn't take much to put those back in. Just, you know, don't torque them down real heavy, because you will get some tweaking of that barrel in that stock. This doesn't look too bad right now, and it's shooting pretty good. So anyway, once we get that brake, we'll make another video and let you see how it reacts to that, and get that cheek riser on there and see if we shoot a little better with those other rounds. But yeah, it's fun to come out here and just shoot these 22s. You know, you can buy a lot of ammo. I've got 4 boxes of 100 here, you know, for the price of 1 box of something, you know, small. You know, I could buy 1 box of 6.5 and I'd have the same price as 4 or 5 boxes of this 22 stuff. So just go out, you get a new gun, just grab a bunch of different loads and see what it likes. It's no different than any of the bigger calibers. When you do that, you know, sighting it in, you want to check. But this is an easy way to do it with a 22. Is, you know, it's cheaper, you can afford to do it. You know, I maybe got around $50 here. The price of 22 has gone up, but it's not nearly as bad as your large cartridges. So anyway, that's what I got for you. We'll see you on the next video. Stay safe out there and everything you do in the outdoors. Catch you on the next video.